All right, History, Desiray, Fidos. I'm teaching today, and we will go over everything from last week, and then we're going to add a little bit more to what we learned last week. I like to build up on what we already know. And Amy, I can hear you, but for some reason, when I share things, I can't see you. So I can see you on my little computer, but I can't see you on the big one. So if you guys can't hear something, just let me know. Because, even though I practice this, sometimes it just doesn't work. And I found out I had to get everything changed around a little bit to make everybody be able to hear it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start screen sharing. I will open it up with, see if I can open that one. Ooh, let's see if I can share this first. I'm using a different platform today, as one of them is not working correctly, and maybe this is it. All right.
Muskogee, Obunaga, Buhayat. Here in the Muskogee language.
All right. And like I said, that's a visual that I put out there to everybody. So that's how I visualize everything. Like I said, when I talk now, I can't see you guys on the screen. So I can see you on my little laptop, but not the big one. So if you guys are saying anything or doing anything, I can't see it. I look through and I can't figure out what's going on. It's just when they do updates, sometimes things disappear. But that's, chocolate. That's what I think about our Muskogee language. And also, again, on our previous class, I remember talking about the power of the Muskogee language, the power of our words. My husband and I were watching Dune the other day, and how he had I don't remember what it's called, the wielding way or something like that, but how the power in the words that he spoke, could do things, could destroy things, or could, influence somebody to do something, just the way he spoke. And that was kind of funny, because now I'm trying to incorporate Muskogee into my life every day through little things. And that caught my ear, because I thought, wow, I think our Muskogee language is like that, not quite that destructive, but the healing powers of the words, the healing spirit of speaking the words, and then the power from the ancestors speaking the same words that we speak now when we're learning Muskogee. So that's just what I was thinking about, liking it to some of the things that we see on TV or movies is in that movie Dune, when they had that power of the words. And I know at the time they had to wear some little device, but then the lead character, after a while, didn't have to have that device to have the power of the words. And I kind of liken the Muskogee words to that, because there's times when we go outside and we just speak the Muskogee words, and I've done this, so I thought it was really awesome. Is Oski rain, Ido tree, and stuff like that, and Pahi grass, and it's like almost an awakening on a different sense. And maybe it's just me, but I feel the strength in those words. And if you think about the Muskogee language and how the Muskogee language came to us, it was through the Creator. He gave us this language. So if He gave us this language, then it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. And I was thinking about that, and I get a little off track sometimes, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, even if you follow the Bible, the Tower of Babel, they all spoke different languages. After He made them all speak their different languages, so they could go separate ways, on the earth. So I think that, the Creator gave each one of us different languages, and nothing's wrong with any other language. It's just different. And thinking about things on a religious aspect, I think Hasaga Masih, the breath giver, I think that He hears His name in our Muskogee language, and He knows who it's from, because He gave us the language. And if he gave another group a different language, they've got a different name for him, for the same being, the creator, and it's just a different language. So it's kind of like, you know, if you think about it, you have children, somebody might call you mama, somebody might call you mother, somebody might call you mom, you know, it's just however you grow up, and it's the same word for the same person. But if we say Hatsaga Masih, he knows it's from our Muskogee people. That's just how I think about it. And it gets me excited that I can speak to him in the language that he gave me. So just a little tidbit of the process I was thinking about, because, you know, each one of our languages are awesome in its own right and its own aspect. So, and how boring would it be if we only knew one language and we only thought one way? I had conversations with people where they would say, well, I don't want to talk to anybody who doesn't think like me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be such a boring place if everybody thought like me or did exactly what I do. That'd be such a boring place, because people get inspiration from other people's ideas. So I don't know, it just ties into different language, different cultures. So, okay, let's go over the future one, tense negation. We are at the end of our module 3. Next week is our last week. So we've come a long way. In module 1, module 2, module 3. So we're learning how to conjugate in different ways. Like I said, future 1 tense negation shows that someone is not going to do something. There is no L grading in future 1 tense negation. The rules are drop the ETV, add the tense marker ahan, add your person marker it's or nothing, add negation affix, go or equal, add your subject marker T, and add your auxiliary verb os. So these are our rules for this module. And I did go back and I did change the, let's see if I can see it. I did change the template. So here we go. Template first person. So we go over the template and you see that I did change that. So that is nothing there. It doesn't say to eat. So if you printed out an old one, or if you want to keep your old one with your notes, that's fine. But this is a brand new template. Well, it's an edited template. I did also add the ending right here, the ending note. If the ending letter is not a vowel, we add a vowel. So we add EKO instead of KO. So I put that on there so it'll make it easier for us. I also put in there that E in parentheses, you know, because depending on if this was a V or was it a vowel, is a then we add that KOT instead of EKOT. And then I am not going to. All right, so that's updated. And since we've got this pulled up, let's go ahead and do an infinitive verb. And we are going to conjugate this. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Annotate. Like I said, I've been practicing, so hopefully everything is good to go here. And like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. So let's go with POHETV, bolida, to here. All right. So, and I'm just showing you through the template how easy it is to conjugate. And if we need to add any more notes, then we can add notes to the template, so it makes it easy for everybody to follow along and to conjugate. Pohida. POHETV to here. All right. And you drop the ETV right here. Your verb stem, pohida. So po. No L grade, you drop everything down. POH, ohan, po, ahan. Drop everything down. POH, ahan. And then you add your first person marker. Right there. Po, ahan, Drop everything down. Po, ahan, And right here is our note. If the ending letter is not a vowel, we add a vowel. and then it would be EKO, but if the ending letter is a vowel, we don't add it. So this right here is a vowel, so we're not gonna add that, we're just gonna add the KO. That's how we determine whether we add EKO or KO. All right, somebody's got a chat here. But, oh, okay, the drive in the chat. All right, yes, I can. Oh, I'm still in that. Okay, so now we see what we're doing. Let's go ahead and clear everything. All right. There we go. I'll copy. See if it'll go in the chat. Okay, that only looks like it got part of it. Let's try it backwards. Come on. Goodness gracious, it's not wanting to put in. Okay, there we go. Come on. Sometimes you tap it once, it doesn't do anything. You tap it twice, it don't do anything. So it's just being really cranky today. I think it's because of summertime. It wants to, oh, got me all the way out. Module 3, class 5, second class. Well, actually, module 3. I'll just do this one. Here he goes. Copy. All right, there it should be. That's module 3. I think you can still get to all the modules through this link, but this is at least module 3. I haven't tried to get into the links that I put on chat because I don't know if you can go backwards or not. But at least this is module 3, class 5, class 2, class. All right. And, like I said, let's go ahead and finish what. Let's see the template. I was just excited that I got the template all squared away. Like I said, I know that let's see, okay. I know that showing the steps does make it a lot easier for everybody. It helped me as well. Okay. Woo. Just remember, I'm not as tall as some of the other Mvhayvs, so I've got to pull it down a bit. All right. All right. So we had gotten to here. Let's see, EOH, and then remember we are not going to add the E because there's a vowel. Cool. Cool. Add your T. And like I said, if you do this, you see how I constantly have to write. Your mind and your muscle memory of your hands will help you remember things. And it's funny how it works, but it does work. And then you add your auxiliary verb. And then right down here, it has just a place for your verb stem. Cool. Because everything is already filled out from the previous steps. Full, goat. We're not going to use that. Goat, os. Hana, goat, os. All right. So, like I said, if you do these steps and you do the template, then you will remember. Because, like I said, muscle memory. You don't think, you hear it all the time, or some of you may hear it, but muscle memory helps. It's got me through some tests because my mind went blank. Sometimes my mind would go blank because like, oh, test. And the muscle memory kicked in. I got my pencil and I got my piece of paper and I was like, oh, and I just started writing the infinitive verb. And that's what helped me, is when I wrote the infinitive verb, like from your paper, right? The infinitive verb, like bohida, to here. So once you're doing that, and that's why I have it at the top of our templates, is right, bohida, and then you put to here. So that opens your mind up for, oh, okay, I've written this before, I've done this template. So your mind will start like calming down, and then your hand will start getting you through it. You know, I guess, what is it called? You know, the starter of the car, your hand start getting through it when you're trying to write everything. And then your mind will start calming down, and then you'll start getting into the groove of writing again, writing the conjugating. So here we go. Pull ahan, verb stem going to ahan. And then right here, remember, we're not going to use the E because the V, the is a vowel. Go is negation. So we're not adding the one with the E. So we're adding go. Add your subject marker D and D. Add your auxiliary verb, which means am, are, is, os. So go, ahan, go, os. I am not going to hear. All right. So now we've gone to ohida, to hear, to I am not going to hear. And like I said, these are starter sentences, and we can, expand on them at a later date. But we're just trying to, right now, I'm just trying to get you to understand the conjugation of everything. And to me, I think this is, really cool that we know what each thing is just from this one template. You've got right here, verb stem, bull. You've got right here, ahan. So here, here, ahan, going to, I, go, negation, not, the subject marker, that's what you're talking about, os, which is am, are, is. I am not going to hear. All right, does anybody have any questions? Like I said, I've updated all of these today. So if you've got one that's an old one that has that doesn't have all the notes, you can either annotate your paper, or you can just download another one. Let's see, looking for the other template. I just want to quickly show you guys so you can see. Here it is. So you can see, yes, I did do the corrections like I was talking about. You can do another one. And we're not going to conjugate a lot today because, I know it's conjugating. You guys have seen it. I've shown you examples. So we know how to do conjugation. I will expand on a couple of things today. All right. So like this one, we could do, eskida, to drink. You put eskida, to drink, and then you go down the steps. So verb stem. ESK, because we dropped the ETV. Add your ahan, add your itsk, and then since itsk has the K, and K is not a vowel, you're going to add EKO. All right, add your T, os, and then itsk, ahan, oh, was it? I'm sorry. Isk, ahan, itsk equal os. So to drink, or so it's drink, going to, you, not, and then subject marker are. So it would be itsk, ahan, or isk, ahan, itsk equal os. You are not going to drink. All right. Like I said, I was going to add, and I did add right here, the note. If the ending letter is not a vowel, we add a vowel. All right. So those are the updated templates. I think here's template. Yeah, template 3. I try to make sure to do them all at once so I wouldn't forget. And I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Okay, so I guess there's an amber alert going on. All right. So we've got, and like I said, you can get any one of the infinitive verbs that we have already used right here. This is module 1 or 2. I think it's module 2. And then you can put it up here, legida, to sit. Drop, legida, to sit. Drop your ETV, and it'd be L-I-K, legida. Oh, legida, it's because it's A. See, like I said, we also, even the speakers, we also accidentally switch back into English thinking, but the I is the A sound, legida. So instead of I, it would be A, legida. So verb stem, L-I-K, lake, ahan, add your person marker, remember, third person means that this is just my placeholder, remember that. And in between the open and close parentheses is she, he, it, they. All right. So whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to talk about, she, he, it, or they, that is basically what's in those parentheses. And then, and see, you have right here, ahan would be right here. So you have, N is not a vowel. So we add a vowel, E-K-O, add the T, add the os, L-I-K, lake ahan ikot os, like ahan ikot os. She is not going to sit. He is not going to sit. It is not going to sit. They are not going to sit. All right, like I said, these are the updated ones. I made sure that I put all of the third person here. I put the notes in there, so it makes it easy for all of us to remember and to do. And since we are, we have gone through the templates, let's go ahead and do our song. If I can, okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and find our song. I know my mouth is getting a little, I don't want to say stiff, but it's like haven't spoken Muskogee. It's better to start to get your mouth and your mind in the mindset of speaking if you sing a simple tune. All right. Okay, I'm trying to remember where I put it. Is it okay? Week 4. Okay. Go. It's fun. Okay. But does anybody have any questions while I'm looking for this? And I showed you guys the picture of my chocolate. So now I'm walking around calling this Mahaya Carolyn. She's the one who spoke the Muskogee in that. I call her Miss Chocolate because we always think about Muskogee. I call her Miss Chocolate, and she just started chuckling. But here's our song, and let me put that up there so I can see it. All right, so I'm going to play it. Let me know if you cannot hear it. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you can. And I will let you know if I can hear it. Okay, I can hear it. All right. Mado, that's a good hymn. Does anybody have any requests on the next hymn for module 4? Yes, I know that helps us to get our mouths ready to speak Muskogee, and it gets our mindset to think about Muskogee. Does anybody have any suggestions for the next song for module 4? Or Hamgen Hokolan Dochine Oshten, module Oshten. All right. And like I said, I just do little things like that to help myself to remain in the Muskogee mindset, is, even counting, just help to keep yourself in the Muskogee mindset. All right, let's see. We've got a couple of things that we can go over. Let's go over the classroom terms. And I do have a new one. Classroom terms. I'm trying to remember. Everything is just all over the place. Eating sentences. And place settings. We can go over place settings. Let's go over place settings. Like I said, my in hybrid class on Friday, we are trying to practice what we learn. And some of the little things that we want to do is speak to each other. Like I was talking to, right, okay. Like I was talking to, I don't know how that got off, but like I was talking to one of the other students is speaking and hearing are two different senses. So when somebody speaks to me in Muskogee, it takes me a couple of seconds to figure out what they're saying. Because, you know, we can fumble around, we can speak it, and then once we get more proficient at it, it'll be easier and faster. Well, last night I had gone to a language class and they were asking me a question and I had to stop and I had to break it down so I could understand what they were saying. And it seemed like I didn't know what they were talking about. But in my mind was going, doo, 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 and I had to break everything down to what they were saying. And then I could reply, but it took me a little time because, you know, when they're speaking, first of all, my instinct is like, oh my gosh, they're speaking Muskogee to me. And I don't know why it's a surprise. I went to Muskogee class, but that's just how I react. My reaction is, oh my gosh, they're speaking Muskogee to me. And then my mind has to flip from English to Muskogee. And then you're able to break it down. And some of you guys might have the same process as I do, but it takes us a little while to start speaking. And then when I hear somebody say Estongo, I just like I said, I'll just like, oh my gosh, they're speaking Muskogee to me. And it's just so exciting that I just kind of like freeze. But we're trying to, and our in-person class we're on the 6th week. We're trying to learn these sentences and learn these things. So if we're at a get together or a food event, we know what each other's talking about. And this is one of the Muskogee place settings image that the Muskogee language program already have. So I'm using this. It says right here, and I did, if you see it, I broke it down. So those of us who are still on our language process and not quite proficient as we would like to be, I broke it down into syllables. So right here, coffee, siskira, cup, chofanwa, fork, homoji, pepper, sihasadichka, sihasadichka. Like I said, we're still learning, and that's okay if we sound a little choppy. But the cool thing is I've got all of these speakers speaking it. So once I teach it, and you can see how to break it down, sihasadichka. And that helps you to say it properly, to hear all of the syllables and the Muskogee sounds or the Muskogee alphabet. But just get a little faster. And just like riding a bike, you go slow, go slow. Sometimes you need to ride a tricycle, which, or sometimes you need the little training wheels, which I'm starting to be able to do a little bit without training wheels. But sihasadichka for napkin, okchanwa for salt, palakna for plate, hakuji spoon, ohumbida othanga tablecloth. I've been practicing that one too. Islavka knife. So all of these are out there. Even if you just go to lunch today, try to remember at least one of these. So when you're sitting there, that Muskogee will start sinking in a little bit more. Homoji, pepper. Right now, we're starting to try to get into the phrase like pass the pepper. But if you can't say a phrase, just say what you can in Muskogee. And those are little baby steps to go forward. As long as you're speaking, however fast, however slow, as long as you're going forward, that's all we ask. Okay, so you could also be saying Ochanwa, you know, and the cool thing about this is my husband is not native, so he's learning Muskogee because I say Ochanwa, you know, homoji. So he's learning. So while I'm learning, he's learning, and now he can understand what I'm saying, or Owa, you know, so water, you know, Ussi, tea. So just these little baby steps, you're going to be touching the people around you with our language. And the cool thing is now they're going to be able to understand you if you keep practicing. And like coffee, you know, I think everybody knows that one.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. Siskira, cup. Chufunwa, fork. Homoji, pepper. Sihazaditska, napkin. Balakna, plate. Ukchanwa, salt. Hakoji, spoon. Ohombira, uthanga, tablecloth. Islavka, knife.
All right. Was everybody able to hear and see that? All right, okay, all right. I see Amy over there. All right, Mado. But these are little things that we can do to just help us go forward in learning the language. You know, as long as you're going forward and you're not going backwards, you know, we're all doing awesome. All right, let me go ahead and go over. Eat. So what we ended with is humbida, to eat, third person. And I just wanted to refresh on that because we've been going over 1 and 2, it's. And I just want to make sure that we understand the third person, because sometimes it might be a little confusing because you can make choices in your third person. Humbida. So we're to eat. So we have already conjugated humbida. So you see right here, eating, right here in black, ahan, going to, right there, our placeholder. Inside of that is she, he, it, or they. And then since in right here is not a vowel, we're going to use equal. Because right here, remember, that is just my placeholder. It really is not there, and I will show you in a few minutes. Equal, os, am, are, is. So going through that, all of our translation, humbahan equal os. So if you look at that, like I said, sometimes you get a little freaked out how long things are, and it gets scary. And I'm not gonna lie, that would scare me if I don't know how to break it down in how we conjugated it. You can conjugate, you can break it down simpler than that, or you can just use what we learned up here. You know, because we've conjugated the verb stem right here, home, and then you added ahan. And if you have to break it down that way, break it down that way. This part is quiet because there's really nothing there. That's our placeholder. Equal, and then os. Put it all together. Humbahan equal os. All right, here you see right here, ahan, right there. That placeholder, I don't have it there because it shows you between the N and the E that it's really not there. We just know it means she, he, it, or they. Humbahan equal os. Eat, what was it? It's supposed to be eat. I don't know why I put eating. Eat. Going to, she, he, it, they, not, am, are, is. So you've got all of these choices to make in third person. And usually when you're talking to somebody, you know if you're talking about a male, a female, a dog, a cat, or something else, you know. So eat, we can just choose it, not, are. It is not going to eat. You can put he is not going to eat. She is not going to eat. They are not going to eat. When you use they, remember, it's just talking about one person. We're not talking about many people because that would change everything. So they, say, you know, we're talking about Charlie over here, Well, they are going to eat or not going to eat. So that's where you would use that in that instance. All right, so that's cool. We've learned the first, second, and third person. We know how to conjugate everything. We know what it looks like. So, on one of the other modules, we're going to put everything together and start making more longer, elaborate sentences, because we're just trying to get the conjugation down for you guys. All right, these are our eating sentences. And as you see right here, I did put the breakdown of it, because like I said, I'm still learning some of these. And also, one of the things that I've come across when we're trying to learn languages, sometimes you can hear it in your mind, but your mouth for some reason will not say the same thing that your mind is saying. All right, here is a glass. Yan damla ojes. And if you want to look at the breakdown, yan damla ojes. Here is a glass. All right, I have tea. Asi oje dos. And if you look at the breakdown, asi oje dos. I have water. Owa oje dos. And if you look at the breakdown, owa oje dos. Here is a cup. Hien siskira ojes. You look at the breakdown. Hien siskira ojes. Do you put sugar on it and in it? And it's osakla abayit chi doa. Sokla. Okay, this is the breakdown. Sokla abayit chidoa. Remember, sometimes my mind looks at the A and but it starts going back to English. So like for the V, ba chidoa. All right, pass me the salt. So this is one of the sentences you can use at lunch today. Think about it for dinner and start teaching your the people you're eating with Muskogee language. Because once you keep saying that, pass me the salt. Okjanwa asan wages. And see, you can, once you start getting these phrases in your mind and you use it every day for lunch, for dinner, for breakfast, then it'll come easier. And that's one less thing you have to learn, because you already know. Pass the salt, pass the pepper, pass me the salt. Okjanwa aswane asanwayas. See, my mouth is getting a little ahead of my mind. So you've got the breakdown, so that helps. Pass me the pepper. Homoji. Asanwayas. And then if you look at the breakdown, homoji asanwayas. All right. And number 8, I don't know where the 8 went to, but do you want some bread? Daklegi chiaja. The breakdown is daklegi chiaja. So that makes it easier for us to sound everything out and to speak. Like I said, if you have to break it down like this, and I'm not going to lie, some of our Mvhayvs will sit there and we have to break things down, because some of these things are really long because you're adding this or that. But there's no problem to breaking it down, to going slow. Even when you go to like other countries and you're trying to learn, say you're going to France and you're trying to learn French, they appreciate, even if you're going slow, just saying some words in French, or in Spain, you speak Spanish, they appreciate you trying. Well, that's the same thing with Muskogee. We appreciate you trying. And like I said, don't stop, because we are trying to get more speakers. We are trying to make a comeback in the language. All right.
Here is a glass. Yandamla ojes. I have tea. Asi oje dos. I have water. Owa oje dos. Here is a cup. Hian siskida ojes. Do you put sugar in it? Asokla abayachidoa. Pass me the salt. Ukjamwa asan wayas. Pass me the pepper. Homoji asan wayas. Do you want some bread? Darlegi chiaja.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on that? These are also in the Google Drive. So whenever you feel like you want to sit there and refresh and go over these are out there. The different weeks are out there. If you know which week things are in, and just go to that week. There's some you seen that one was empty. There's some weeks where I don't make anything up. I just go through and refresh everybody, because the weekend always helps me forget everything. And so, refreshing is not a bad thing, and to constantly go over everything, that's how we remember. All right, so let me see, you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right. Okay, and the classroom terms. And like I said before, if we can start speaking just a little bit every day, even, before class, I know I was speaking to one of the students, and it's nice to hear somebody speaking and then me hearing, and then I have to answer in Muskogee, but we were able to do that. It was a little choppy on my end, but the student did awesome. And I'm just, like I said, hearing it spoken to you is something different than being passive in the conversation, because I hear sometimes the speaker speaking and I'm just sitting there, okay, I caught that word. We're not doing something. So it's like you're piecing together a puzzle, and you're getting more and more pieces, so you can start seeing the picture of the sentence and picture of the conversation just by the little pieces that you can hear. And I've been on this journey since, I would say, about 2020, the fall of 2020. That was COVID. So I jumped into learning our language, and thank goodness the College of Muskogee Nation had the program online, and that's where I jumped into it. And I was like, wow, I get to learn while we're not able to go anywhere. And that's where I started learning academically more of the language. All right, like I said, the classroom terms. So if you want to say kitaks, I don't know. Legibus, have a seat. Hadamagas, and then the breakdown is hadamagas. Say, that means say it again. Amanagus, breakdown is just help. Mvhayv, the breakdown is just listen. He just look. Big harness, the breakdown is big honest stop. Mvhayv, the breakdown is Mvhayv, teacher. All right, so now we've gone through all that, and here we've got our sentence. And like I said, this is some of the things that I'm trying to do every day in class, and I know sometimes I forget, but that's okay. So we've got the sentence, Chihijiyat, iditos. So the breakdown is Chihijiyat, iditos. It is good to see you. And something that I brought up in one of our other classes is sometimes people put the T on this over there by hivit. It's hivit os. And I've learned both ways from College of Muskogee Nation and from a college up in the city. One of them teaches us hivitos. The other one taught hivit os. So either way is good, and that's one of the things that I've learned last night in a language class is there are so many different varieties of sentences, but if you can catch the gist of it, you know what they're talking about. And there's so many ways to write the same sentence and the same idea. So I'm not going to say anybody's wrong. if I say Owa and you say Wiwa, and we both know we're talking about water, we're doing awesome because we're communicating. Just like we were talking about, like England, what did they say that was really weird? Aluminum. So we say aluminum here in the United States. And in England, they say aluminium. So aluminium. So they put their emphasis different, but you know what they're talking about. Well, after a while, you'll know what they're talking about. So we say aluminum and they say aluminium. So that kind of freaked me out. And schedule, when we say we're going to schedule something, they say schedule. And that means the same thing. But, you know, it took a little while, but we were able to understand what some of the British people were saying, because sometimes we're like, wait, that sounds familiar, but it's different. And, you know, same thing in some of these different dialects of our Muskogee people and Muskogee Nation. All right. And the next sentence is Hiyan Olejas. The breakdown is Hiyan Olejas. Put it here. Joga Hija. The breakdown is Joga Hija, student. And then this one is An Hifetska. I had to use the breakdown on that one. So the breakdown is An Hifetska. Do you understand me? All right. So did that help doing the breakdown and slowly going over the breakdown for everybody? I mean, I can do that, or I can not do that. Whatever you guys need, I can adjust, and we can go over it. But to me, even so, sometimes I get carried away, and my mouth goes faster than my brain. And some of these, it helps me to have it broken down. So, like on the words of the day, I break it down, and it helps us to all understand and learn. And I'm just going to keep doing that. And unless you guys say, hey, I'm past that, you don't have to just block that part from your lesson, because we're all at different levels. And I think that captures pretty much everybody. You know, doing it the first way without the breakdown, the second way with the breakdown, and then the English. So I think I'll just keep that going. And if you don't need one, if you need to throw the training wheels off, that's fine. Throw the training wheels off. All right, let's listen.
Gistax. Legibus. Hada Magus. Amanejas. Mabuhejas. Hijas. Ficunnas. Mahaya. Chihijaya. Hithitos. Hian Uhlejas. Chugahija. Angihliska.
All right. And so it was really cool the other day when Mvhayv Barnett was teaching. I like to sit in her classes because like I said, I'm still learning. And I'll sit there in my chair and she'll sit there and talk to me. And we'll talk before her lesson. But somebody put in the chat, what did they say? They say Hadam Magus. And I was like, yay, somebody used that. So, you know, use it whenever you can, because the more you use everything, the more you'll remember, the easier things will be.
Mvhayv,
Yes, go ahead.
I think I asked this before, but I don't remember what the answer was. And so the same question's coming to my mind. With these words that are commands, is it appropriate for me to say Maho Amanagis or Fikonas to an elder? Or is that a commit? Like I would never say stop, listen, look to like my dad or something, like, you know, like, but in the culture of there, can I say those things to someone that is you know, a Mvhayv or a boss or an elder? Am I making any sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You want to say things respectful.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, it's a command. From what I understand, and I'll ask Mvhayv Barnett, from what I understand, and this was taught to me at the College of Muskogee Nation, is Muskogee has respect built into it. So you don't really, and this is from more than one Mvhayv that I learned, that you don't really have to say please, because there's really not a please in the Muskogee language. It's just inferred that I'm being respectful, we're talking respectful. And that's where, like, some of our meetings and our Muskogee people, I think, have lost some of that idea that our language is respectful, and it's built into the language, respect and courtesy. And so when people ask me for like the curse words, the bad words of Muskogee, there aren't. Okay, let me see this way. Language evolves. Just as English evolves, Muskogee evolves. Sometimes they do a little Creeklish thing. And so there may be, you know, I would say slang curse words that are around now that I don't know about. But our original Muskogee language did not have curse words. They just like badamity, like, oh my goodness, you know, little things like that, badamity or hey la. And some of you guys may have heard that. They're not curse words. They're like, oh my goodness, you know, that kind of thing, that attitude in some of the things, badamity, because I heard one of my instructors say that. I was like, oh my gosh, my mom used to say that. So I don't think that if you say stop, you know, like ficonis, I don't think that it's disrespectful or any commands. Amanegus, help. But I will verify that with Mvhayv Barnett. And we did talk about stuff like that before, stuff of respect. And like I said, people ask me all the time, what's the curse words? Well, there's really no curse words, but you can call somebody a body part, you know. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna leave it at that. You can call them a body part, you know. And I think that's as much curse words that I actually know, you know, that I've heard people say. Just like I remember as a child, I asked my mom, I was so upset, I was like, ask my mom, why do, and you know, they would hold up the middle finger. I'm not gonna do it, but they would hold up the middle finger and they say, why? I asked her, why is that a bad finger? And she said, basically, Hasagan Masih did not make our body, any part of our body or any part of our person bad. It's how people use it. And they infer this particular gesture is bad. And in England, a different gesture with your hands are bad. And, you know, and it's really not bad, but people make things bad. I don't know if that answered your question, but like I said, I'll ask Mvhayv Barnett. And we did go over it before, but I'll just double check. I always assumed, or I always heard that our Muskogee words or Muskogee language was respectful. And it was built in, so you didn't have to say, oh, please. You can do something like that with a tone, you know, like, I'm a nagus, you know. But I don't think it's disrespectful to say a command to an elder and then take it disrespectful. But like I said, I'll ask, and we'll see what she says. I will bring that back next week, and I will write that down right now.
Hello.
Respect commands. All right. So these are our new words, and I just completed it. So hopefully the sound is there. But you see that wash your hands and eat. And these are all the terms that we're trying to use for our in-person class. We're going to try to have get together a meal while we're teaching, so we can sit there, you know, and pass, you know, say pass the salt. Okjanwa asanwayas. Okjanwa asanwayas. And I told everybody, and you know, I encourage you guys, if you're going to try to use these, get your paper, get your printed paper, or if you don't print it out, write your notes. These are the words or the phrases that I'm going to use tonight. This is the phrase I'm going to use at lunch. You know, start with one, go even further. I told the class, I was like, you know, we are going to have a get together, and we were going to talk, and we're going to speak. We're going to try to speak nothing but Muskogee. You know, if you have to use some English words, then use some English words. But like I said, Okjanwa, Asanwayas, Homodi, Asanwayas, pass me the pepper, pass me the salt. Asi, Asanwayas, pass me the tea. So just use these and practice these. And this, I'm trying to add on to our vocabulary. So, we can just start going into speaking Muskogee. But like I said, this is kind of new to me. So if I fumble around, it's okay. All right. Jingi okoset humbas. And the breakdown is Jingi okoset humbas. Wash your hands and eat. Okay. Some of these are really, I've heard them talk. I've actually practiced them, but sometimes when I'm teaching, my mind goes boop, blank. Up, al, that, atka, about that, up, all, atka, hollow, aditka, adik, hunks. All right, put it in the trash. All right, like I said, these are new to me. I'm learning with you guys. There's no bad thing. There's no wrong way to do it. We're just learning. So, apologize. Hollow, adik hunks. So that was I'm gonna have to work on. Okay, hombida, solkiti. So the breakdown is hombida, solkiti. There is so much food. And what I was talking to Mvhayv Barnett about this is that's got an exclamation point after it, because it's like, there's so much food. That's the emphasis on that one. Okay, Nagin, Sudata, Han, Naya. So the breakdown is Nagin, Sada, Han, Naya. What can I bring? Nagin, Noteji, Ka. Nagin, Notejichka. The breakdown is Nagin, Notejichka. What did you cook? Nagin, isti omalgat, is aja iti. What is everybody bringing? The breakdown is Nagin, isti omalga, is ja iti. So like I said, we're going to hear the speaker speak it. Mvhayv. Estamen balakna oja. The breakdown is estamen balakna oja. Where are the plates? And the last sentence is hombada takwijan amanejitska daya. The breakdown is hombeda takwijitan wijit an amanejitska ski amanajitski daya. Like I said, these are some of the things that I'm practicing, and I'm asking you to practice and try to add that to our vocabulary. And this is what the speaker sounds like.
Abalaka halo adihaks. Hombida shulgiri Nagin sada hanaya. Nagin nothetchitska. Nagi isti omalga isjejihidi. Isteman balakna oja.
Okay, I must have left the last one out. So I will add that one, but you see the difference. She's really smooth, and that's what we aspire to sound like. Practice this, practice the breakdown, practice on lunch or dinner or breakfast. Practice these little sentences. I will make some. Next week's our last week, so I'm going to try to challenge you guys a bit. I'm going to make some sentences, and I will ask for participation to see what we're talking about. So look at your stuff, look at your conjugations. I'm going to ask you, is it first, second, or third person? So you can do like I do. When you're listening to something, you're gonna find this little clue, this clue of what we're talking about. You know, it's, or nothing in the conjugated sentences. So that's the challenge we're gonna do next week. So I'm gonna make up some sentences so we can practice. You can hear, you can see, and you can ascertain from all the information that you have what we're talking about, what person marker we're using. We're not going to, they are not going to do anything, you are not going to do, and I am not going to do. All right, Madam, I will ask Mvhayv Barnett that question about respect and commands. Does anybody have any questions? All right, I'm gonna say Hadam Jihutakan, please. Like I said, I will see you all again. Hadam Jihuchah, please, is for one person. So that's a cool thing that I learned. All right, Mado, I ask you to practice. You guys have the Google Drive, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me or call the front office for questions. All right, Mado.
Pache Mahaya.
Pache.